Hello everyone. Welcome to the 13th video of the distance learning program. I hope all of you are healthy and safe, and I can't wait to see you again. Today we're going to start the lesson with pronunciation from the Oxford Picture Dictionary. And if you'll turn to page 64 in the Oxford Picture Dictionary, we're going to start with the tenant meeting. The tenant meeting. And a tenant is a person who rents an apartment or a house. That's a tenant. So if you'll follow along with me and repeat the words after I do, then we'll read pages 64 and 65. The first one is the tenant meeting. The tenant meeting. Roommates. Party. Music. DJ. Noise. Irritated. Rules. Mess. Invitation. Dance. And now we'll go to page 65. Look at the pictures. What do you see? Answer the questions. What happened in apartment 2B? How many people were there? How did the neighbor feel? Why? What rules did they write at the tenant meeting? What did the roommates do after the tenant meeting? Read the story. The tenant meeting. Sally Lopez and Tina Green are roommates. They live in apartment 2B. One night they had a big party with music and a DJ. There was a mess in the hallway. Their neighbors were very unhappy. Mr. Clark in 2A was very irritated. He hates noise. You can see Mr. Clark, he's very irritated because of the noise. Looks like he has a pillow over his head. The next day, there was a tenant meeting. Everyone wanted rules about parties and loud music. The girls were very embarrassed. A synonym for embarrassed could be ashamed. After the meeting, the girls cleaned the mess in the hallway. Then they gave each neighbor an invitation to a new party. Everyone had a good time at the rec room party. And rec stands for recreation. Now the tenants have 2 new rules and a new place to dance. Think about it. What are the most important rules in an apartment building? Why? Imagine you are the neighbor in 2A. What do you say to Tina and Sally? All right. Now that we've finished the pronunciation part of the lesson, we're going to move on to the Ventures3 book. That's the green book. And so if you'll turn in this book to page 50, we're going to start this lesson. That's the reading lesson, lesson D, on page 50. And I'd like for you to focus on the words beneficial plants in the title of the article. Okay? The focus of today's article is beneficial plants. And you might wonder about, what does the word beneficial mean? Beneficial. Well, a synonym for beneficial is helpful. So these are going to be helpful plants that we're going to be reading about in the article. The title often tells you what the article is about, but you can also read the first and the last paragraphs of the article, and they tell you what the topic is or what the subject of the article is. Okay? The topic is, what is the article about? Okay, so if you'll look at this first box up here on the top right, it says the paragraph of a reading is, the first paragraph of a reading is the introduction. It tells you the topic. The last paragraph is the conclusion. It often repeats the topic in different words. So the first paragraph is the introduction, the last paragraph is the conclusion, and they tell you about the topic of the article, or what the article is all about. In this lesson, we're also going to recognize word families, but that's the second part of the lesson. So first, we're going to think about beneficial plants, or plants that are helpful. In your experience, can you think of any plants that are helpful as far as nourishing your body or helping your body to be suffering less pain, or helping you sleep? These would be beneficial plants because they're helpful. Some of you might think of the plants like ginger, or maybe garlic, or some people might say green tea. So here's a sentence that shows how green tea can be beneficial. It says, if you have a sore throat, you can drink green tea with lemon and honey in it. So sometimes if you drink green tea with honey, that might make your throat feel less sore. If you have a sore throat, green tea might help. Now, what I'd like to do at this point is ask the two questions which are before you read. Which two plants is the reading about? Which two plants is the reading about, and how long have people used them? So if you quickly scan the article, you can determine what are the two plants that the article is about. They're going to discuss two plants. And if you look at the beginning of the second paragraph, it says garlic is a plant in the onion family. So that's a clue that that's one of the plants that they're going to discuss in this article. If you look at the third paragraph, the beginning of that paragraph says, chamomile is a small pretty plant with flowers that bloom from late summer to early fall. So these are the two plants that the article is going to discuss. Part 2 says, how long have people used them? If you look in the last paragraph of the article, it says, for thousands of years, people everywhere have grown garlic, chamomile, and other herbal medicines in their gardens. So that tells you that people have been using these plants for thousands of years. So what I'd like to do now is read the article and have everyone read along with me. So we're going to read the article, Two Beneficial Plants. Since the beginning of history, people in every culture have used plants to stay healthy and to prevent sickness. Garlic and chamomile are two beneficial plants. Garlic is a plant in the onion family. The green stem and the leaves of the garlic plant grow above the ground. The root, the part under the ground, is a bulb with sections called cloves. They look like the pieces of an orange. The bulb is the part that people have traditionally used for medicine. And traditionally means they've used these things in the past. People have used them routinely for helping to make people feel better. They have used it for insect bites, cuts, earaches, and coughs. Today, some people also use it to treat high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Chamomile is a small, pretty plant with flowers that bloom from late summer to early fall. The flowers have white petals and a yellow center. Many people use dried chamomile flowers to make tea. Some people give the tea to babies with upset stomachs. They also drink chamomile tea to feel better when they have a cold or the flu, poor digestion, or trouble falling asleep. For thousands of years, people everywhere have grown garlic, chamomile, and other herbal medicines in their gardens. Today, you can buy them in health food stores. You can get them in dried, powdered, or pill form. Very good, very good. So now we're going to move to page 51 to check your understanding. And if you look at part 3 after you read, we're going to answer the questions in part 3. It says, underline the word beneficial in the first paragraph. Do you think it has a positive or negative meaning? So if we go and look in the first paragraph, you can see that it says right here, garlic and chamomile are two beneficial plants. But just right before that, it says people in every culture have used plants to stay healthy and prevent sickness. So that part there tells you that beneficial is a positive adjective. It means something good for you because these plants help people to stay healthy and prevent sickness, which is a good thing. So the answer to that question would mean that it has positive meaning. I would say the phrases that help you understand the meaning would be that people in many cultures use the plants to stay healthy and prevent sickness. That would be the phrase that can help you understand the meaning. Now let's look at question number 2. What is the word for the sections of the garlic bulb? All right, if you look in the second paragraph, it says the green stem and the leaves of the garlic plant grow above the ground. And then it says the root, the part under the ground, is a bulb with sections called cloves. So the part under the ground is the bulb, and the sections are called cloves. Now, the third question says, what have people used garlic for? Well, you have to look in the paragraph about garlic to see what people have used it for. And it says, the bulb is the part that people have traditionally used for medicine. They have used it for insect bites, so that's one of the uses, cuts, earaches, and coughs. And it says, today, some people also use it to treat high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So these are all uses of the bulb of garlic. So you could say they've used it for insect bites, cuts, earaches, coughs, a treatment for high blood pressure and high cholesterol. The next question, what does the chamomile plant look like? In order to answer that question, we have to look at the paragraph about chamomile. And it tells you in the very first sentence, it says chamomile is a small, pretty plant with flowers that bloom from late summer to early fall. Well, maybe it's the second sentence. It says the flowers have white petals and a yellow center. So this describes what the chamomile plant looks like. Okay? The flowers have white petals and a yellow center, and there's a picture of chamomile plants right here on the right. The next question, according to the author, what do people use chamomile tea for? So it says right here in the middle of the paragraph about chamomile, which is the third paragraph, it says they also drink chamomile tea to feel better when they have a cold or the flu, poor digestion, or trouble falling asleep. So people drink chamomile tea for these reasons. When they have a cold or the flu, or poor digestion, or trouble falling asleep. Number 6, which plant could you use for high blood pressure? If you recall, we were reading about garlic and how garlic can be used to treat high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And that's from the second paragraph. So the answer to that question would be garlic. And finally, question number 7 says, what examples does the author give to support the idea that garlic and chamomile are beneficial? Well, I would say that all of these examples are examples that show that garlic and chamomile are beneficial, because if they're good for insect bites, cuts, earaches, coughs, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol, that's very good for your body. And if chamomile is good for treating colds and the flu, poor digestion, and it helps when people are having trouble falling asleep, then that's also very good. So all of these are examples of how these two plants are beneficial for humans. All right. Well, we're going to move on to word families in the next lesson, since this lesson is out of time. So I'll see you in lesson number 2. Have a great day.